Caitlin Clark dropped 41 against LSU in the Elite Eight game. And I just wanted to break down her scoring, the strategy that LSU was using, and maybe what they could have done differently to prevent Caitlin Clark from absolutely torching them. I do want to start off by saying that I do not mean any disrespect to any player, coach. Kim Mulkey is a women's basketball and just basketball in general legend. She has 4 championships at multiple schools. I mean this with no disrespect, and I'm not sure how much it was actually all of her decisions. It might have been, what her scouts are telling her to do. It might have been what her assistants are telling her to do. Or it might have just been players on the court are doing things differently than what she's telling them. And we'll get into that in a little bit. I am a fan of every single player on this LSU team. I'm a fan of Kim Mulkey. Again, I mean this with no disrespect. This is just me analyzing the game from a fan and from a high school coach perspective. So right off the bat, I think it was an interesting move to start Hailey Van Lith guarding Caitlin Clark. I think it might have been a better idea to put her on Gabby Marshall just size-wise. Gabby Marshall is listed at like 5'9", 5'10", and Hailey Van Lith is listed at 5'7". So right there, the matchup-wise, it just seems better. I get it though. You want to put maybe a scrappier player on Caitlin Clark, and you understand that they're going to set Caitlin a lot of screens. So right then and there, Hailey Van Lith can just switch to screens, and then she's not on Caitlin anymore. So maybe that was the philosophy or the strategy behind putting Hailey Van Lith on Caitlin Clark. I just think hindsight, it was a bad idea. Because Caitlin, look, if you look at this picture right here, Caitlin has basically a whole foot over Hailey. When Hailey is in her defensive stance, Caitlin can see right over her. So that leads, that opens up all of her vision to pass, to see screens coming, to see driving angles. It's just a bad matchup in my opinion. Hailey Van Lith on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin basically has a whole foot over her. But then you're going to see just literally within the first few minutes of the game, there's a screen for Caitlin and Hailey goes under the screen. Again, not a good idea when you're playing against one of the best three-point shooters to ever play women's basketball. You should not go under this screen. So she goes under the screen and she knocks it down, right? So that's mistake number 1. I like the pressure. I like pressuring Caitlin right at half court. It's a good idea. In hindsight, maybe not having Hailey Van Lith being the one applying the pressure. She just gets blown right by. And then as LSU, as a team, right? Basketball is a team game. And you have to understand you're playing against one of the best players to ever play your sport. So you need to have some help in the paint. Especially when you know you have a shorter defender on her. And then who would be the one to help on this drive? It's Angel Reese, who's just a little late. She's just a little late on this help. And she's guarding the one player that cannot shoot threes. So she really should be the one in help. She should probably already be at the rim right now. She's just a little late getting over. Gives up the layup. So right here, Caitlin is going to get a screen. And so this is a switch, right? This is an easy switch. Flaugier just switched on to Caitlin. All right, we're good. But then Hailey Van Lith gets beat backdoor, right? Worrying about the ball a little too much. When this is really the matchup you like, Flaugier on Caitlin, that's probably a better matchup than Hailey Van Lith on Caitlin. But super fundamental, just goes backdoor. So then they sub out, Kim Mulkey subs out Hailey Van Lith for obvious reasons, right? She just got scored on twice. She got scored on by Caitlin, and then she gets beat backdoor. So they go Poa. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. And she's picking her up before half court. So that's the adjustment. I like that adjustment. But again, you're getting high ball screen. You need to go over this screen. And LSU makes the same mistake. She goes under it. She goes under it again. So she goes under the screen twice. You're leaving Caitlin too much space to shoot that three. Too much space. And then Poa gets beat, straight line drive to the paint. And this is a great example of what I mean by Angel needs to be the one in help protecting the paint because her girl, number 45, cannot shoot threes. So she should be in the paint right now. Boom. Slide over. Cut Caitlin off. Chase down the block. Nobody even moves on the drive. If you look at it, nobody moves besides the girl in the corner who should be the last one to move. The same side corner. But nobody moves on the drive. Easy bucket. This is a good trap, but you're not really trapping the right girl. You want to be trapping Caitlin. But right here, you're not mad at this three that she gets, right? This is like a transition, broken play, but you got to find Caitlin. You got to get a hand up now, right? That's got to be like the hardest closeout you can imagine without fouling. Again, transition. Haley picks her up, but she just goes back door or behind the back. Good move. But right here, right, Angel, you got to slide over and cut her off. Help Haley Van Lith out. Like, nobody was really protecting the paint. Just way too late on that help. And you can't be mad at this one. That's an NBA range 3. So you can't be too mad at that. Maybe get a hand up quicker, but... So right here, we see a high ball screen again. Haley does a good job of getting over the screen this time. So that was a good adjustment, right? It was a good adjustment by LSU. Coach Mulkey, go over the screen. But she opens up the entire right side of the court for Caitlin. And if you know anything about Caitlin, and if you've been watching her for her career, if she ever drives left, she's going to shoot a jump shot. So she's looking for her jump shot when she drives left. So you can't give up the left side like that. She loves shooting when she goes left. Pick up full court, but Poa just gets blown by, right? So I don't know if that's the move, to pick her up full court, unless you have somebody that can really lock her up. So that's why I would just maybe have them do what they were doing in the first quarter and just pick up a half court. So again, she's driving to the left right here. Left. She's on the left side. She wants to shoot the jumper. Boom. That's got to be in the scouting report, right? She's driving left. Get that hand up. Have that hand up early. So I like this play by Iowa, a little staggered down screen for her. So everybody just kind of switch. Angel decides to switch. She's not quick enough to get out on the closeout. Look at all that space that Caitlin has when she gets to switch. Right here, she steps back, creates that space. She's got about, 4 or 5 feet. She steps back again, gets her shot off. So just not a great contest by LSU. Reach in, and then a late hand. Got to get a hand in her face. Got to get a hand up to make her miss. So again, high ball screen. Haley Van Lith goes over the screen, which is what you need to do. But you got to do something to help out these ball handlers that are getting screened. You can't be in a drop coverage against Iowa. You're just going to get lit up. You're going to get lit up, and we saw it happen. So Angel probably should have stepped up, basically switch and then switch back, right? Hard hedge, whatever you want to call it. And then Morrow or Flaugier is in help to guard the roller, right? You got to do something, but you can't just give up a wide open 3 for Caitlin. You can't be in drop coverage against Iowa. You can't. Haley was too late coming off that screen. And again, she's going left. She wants to shoot. So I like the face guarding. Although, like I said, maybe not the best person to be face guarding her. And again, you can't be too mad at that. That's just a deep 3. NBA 3. Can't be too mad at that. Just to refresh, I thought it was very interesting that at the beginning of the game, the guards were going under the ball screens. giving Caitlin just wide open looks for threes. I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting having Haley Van Lith start out on Caitlin Clark, and she got off to a quick start. And I just don't know if that was the right move. Maybe put a bigger, longer, taller defender on Caitlin to make the game as hard as possible for her. And they tried that with Poa. I thought it was interesting that I didn't see one time where they trapped the pick and roll or they blitzed the pick and roll. That high ball screen that they were setting for Caitlin, I didn't see one trap when they did that. I thought that was interesting. Right, like get the ball out of Caitlin's hands, make everybody else beat you. And I will say that they were knocking down their shots. They were running the floor, they were cutting, they were going back door, they were doing what they needed to do. And I'm talking about everybody else on Iowa's team, but Caitlin, they were playing very well. So I will say maybe that's why you don't trap Caitlin, because she's such a good passer and because she has really good girls around her that know how to play with her very well. Very well. So I will say maybe that's why they didn't trap the pick and roll. But it wouldn't hurt to try it once in a while, right? And I will say at the end of the game, I think that they could have played bigger. And what I mean by that is you play De La Rosa, their 6'6" girl that they have on the bench. I only saw her in for a little bit this game when Angel went out with her ankle injury. I think they put her in, and then I think they put her in again when Angel fouled out. But I think they could have played her a little more, because if you look at Iowa's team, their tallest girl is 6'3", which is Angel's size. Iowa's tallest girl is 6'3". LSU has Angel Reese, who's 6'3", and they have De La Rosa, who is 6'6". What are they going to do if you play both of them at the same time? The girl that's going to be guarding Angel is about 6 foot. So Angel has the extreme height advantage. But yeah, like what would Iowa have done if you have both those big girls out there? It would have made Iowa play both their bigs, probably, right? And then lastly, I think the best strategy against Caitlin Clark, if you're the next team, if you're UConn, you make her drive right. You turn her into a driver. You make her go right. You don't let her go left. If she goes left, she wants to shoot the three. I've said it 100 times in this video. Make her go right, turn her into a driver and a passer, and help. You're very aggressive at trapping the pick and roll or the high ball screen. You blitz it, you hedge hard, and you switch back. Whatever. You have to make it as hard as possible against Caitlin Clark. Don't let her go left. And the broadcasters in this game said something very interesting. They said, Caitlin Clark doesn't have a floater, and I kind of agree. She's either shooting threes or she's shooting layups. She's either getting to the rim or she's pulling up for a three. She doesn't really pull up for a mid-range too much. She doesn't really shoot the floater that much. She doesn't really shoot runners. She doesn't really have a mid-range game, so I would utilize that if I'm UConn. I'm making her get into the mid-range game, and then I'm playing off of that. I might send a late trap. But the last thing I would do is let Caitlin Clark shoot threes. She's not getting any threes off, and I know it's easier said than done, but everything should be contested. She should be struggling to even get her three-pointer off. And I would make everybody else beat you. I would make the big girls on Iowa beat you.